On everybody, RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and I know, I miss football too. I miss football so much. I know it's been now over a week since the Super Bowl ended. I know that we are so far away from the regular season, but we do have the entire offseason, obviously free agency, combine, even before then, the NFL draft, et cetera, et cetera. We have a lot of things to keep our mind and to help us, kind of move along through the wilderness that is the offseason. And something else that we have occasionally is some fun interviews and fun conversations. And sometimes those happen with people who aren't necessarily affiliated with the Dallas Cowboys. If you have been subscribed to our YouTube channel for a long time, which you should do right down below, then you know that that is the case and that is the drill. On Sunday, I was very fortunate to get a chance to sit down with Indianapolis Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson. Thanks to our friends at Panini, we talked a lot about, obviously, NBA All-Star Weekend happening in Indy and all sorts of things, including how he's feeling ahead of this season. I told him that he's on my dynasty team. It's very possible that that is the case for you as well. It was a really, really, really fun conversation that we're going to share for you here and that I'll be writing about at sbnation.com. You can also listen to this conversation, by the way, on the Blogging the Boys podcast network that is accessible wherever you get your podcasts. I do want to say that there are some slight hiccups at the very beginning, maybe the first 2 minutes or so. The internet connection that Anthony had was not totally stable, but they did get it figured out. So if it buffers or when it buffers, it will not actually be your internet buffering. You will see me a little bit confused and a little bit waiting for things to ultimately hang out. Sometimes that's just how the sausage gets made. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Here is Indianapolis Colts Anthony Richardson joining us at SB Nation. Very pleased not to be joined here at SB Nation by the one, the only, the legendary, the internationally famous. He has a pair of glasses that I really like for those who are only listening to the podcast version of this. It is Indianapolis Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson. Anthony, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm good, man. I appreciate you for having me on, man.
I'm going to be straight up with you because I'm certain you get this a lot, but you are on my dynasty team. So you and we got a little thing going on here. How's that make you feel?
It feels good. Nice to know we have a nice little relationship,
Yeah. So you're there. Jamar Chase is there. I spoke to him at the Super Bowl. So, I'm just kind of having a focus group with every guy that's a part of our team. I haven't won the title yet, but I know that when you come back this season, well, it's kind of all said and done at that point.
Yeah, soon to come, man. Soon to come.
You are speaking to us today on behalf of Panini, and I'm very excited to get to that. But it's obviously a very Indianapolis Indy sort of weekend, what with the NBA All-Star Game. Have you seen Hoosiers? Because I feel like that has to have been the first or second thing you did as soon as you got drafted by the Colts.
No, I haven't really made my rounds, enough around Indy to, visit enough, places, show love to everybody. Although everybody been showing love to me, I still gotta spread around and show my face.
So that's what you got to do. Next, you're a very busy person. You got a lot going on, but next time you have a night to watch a movie, you got to watch Hoosiers. It's all about kind of the birth of basketball in the area. Obviously, nowadays, Indianapolis is a prominent football town, but once upon a time, it was just basketball. That's all anybody cared about. Are you step back? I'm not saying that's the case now. I'm saying a long time ago that was the case.
That Indy connection.
I think we're good. We survived the internet gremlins, Anthony.
All right, we back.
So yeah, I was saying that a long time ago, prior to Peyton Manning's arrival, people just regarded Indianapolis as a basketball town. But now, those days and these days, it's a football town. On top of the Pacers and whatever stuff they have going on. Who's your basketball team? Your NBA team?
Man, a lot of people are gonna dislike me for this, and I apologize, but
I don't know if you're trying to be dramatic or not, Anthony, but if you are, that worked out really well. You said a lot of people are going to dislike me for this, and that's when the internet kicked out again.
My bad, man. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm a huge LeBron fan. So any team LeBron's on, I'm a fan of. I'm sorry for anybody that doesn't agree with it, but
I think that your generation, that kind of works like this, a little bit more understandable than I was growing up. I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan, so kind of a sensitive thing for us. But we got Wemby now. He had a good time in Indy, and so it all kind of worked out. How have you enjoyed the All-Star Weekend festivities?
Man, it's been cool, man. Been able to have a couple of events lined up for me and my family. Let some of my friends go and just enjoy it. So I'm actually glad it was here.
That's awesome. I mean, I know you said you hadn't had time to kind of do everything in Indianapolis. I mean, how could you? This time a year ago, you were in the middle of a massive race to starting your NFL career. But since all that is kind of behind you, I know we're obviously very excited to see your future continue to unfold. Now that you can look back on, the rookie season that was, how was it, and how difficult was it for you to just sit back and watch? Because obviously, at your heart, you're a competitor.
The whole rookie year, it was a blessing. Honestly, I'm just glad I had the opportunity, just get drafted by a great franchise, get embraced from a great city. I'm just extremely thankful. It was a little challenging for me to just sit back and just watch, because I want to be on the field, but it allowed me to learn a lot, learn more about the league, learn more about myself, so I'm thankful for it all, and I just can't wait for a year two.
Yeah, you had the start that kind of happens at the beginning of all these super exciting careers. It was like, oh man, this is it. Like this is why everybody has believed and why everybody still continues to believe. In your time that you weren't playing, did you watch any football besides the Colts? Like, did you? Or because I think if it were me, I would really retreat. I would be like, I only want to watch my teammates and work on that. But maybe, I don't know, you watch Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football in your spare time.
Man, since I wasn't able to be out there myself, almost any game that came on, I tried to lay my eyes on it. I don't care if it was college, high school, NFL. If there was football going on, I was trying to be involved in it because I wasn't playing myself. So I just wanted to, just keep, looking at it and just keep embracing it.
That's fair, and that's well said. When it comes to the NFL, were there any other quarterbacks? Because last year you were asked a lot, right? Like, oh, who do you model your game after? Because you're entering the draft. But now that you're in the NFL and you had a chance to just watch some guys, whose seasons did you enjoy? I cover the Dallas Cowboys, so I imagine that Dak Prescott may be high on that list.
Man, a lot of QBs had great years this year. Brock Purdy, like you said, Dak, CJ, my boy CJ. Lamar had a great year. Matthew Stafford had a great year. A lot of QBs had a great year, and it's always good just to see QBs just go out there and just ball out. Because it only just puts you in the mindset of like, dang, what is it going to be like when I get back out there? So I definitely enjoyed watching those guys, and man, they did their thing this year.
You mentioned CJ and how he's your boy. Obviously, you had a really exciting year, rookie of the year, et cetera, et cetera. I think a difference between people like you, like extraordinary athletes, and people like me, because I could be an athlete if I wanted, Anthony. Like, I mean, I really could. So this is my choice to just sit here and do this. But I think a main difference is you could call it a killer instinct or an alpha mentality, Mamba mentality. So are you, in a friendly way, are you like, hey, CJ, look, the only reason you won Rookie of the Year is because, I wasn't out there. If I'd been out there, like, it would have been over. Like, because I think a lot of people would rightly and fairly claim that.
Yeah, deep down inside, me and CJ, we have a secret battle because we're in the same division, so it's always a race for one of us to, be better than one another because, we're in the same division. We both have to like compete against each other twice a year, which is amazing. And I'm thankful that we get to do that. But, yeah, of course, part of me selfishly is like, yeah, if I was out there, maybe things would have been a little different. But then again, the part of me that loves is watching guys succeed. Man, I'm proud of CJ, and I'm just, I just love everything he did this year.
That's awesome. And that's well said and completely fair. I mentioned, when I was growing up, it was just the Colts division. Like the idea that the Texans or the Jaguars or Titans could compete was such a joke. And I'm sure you probably would prefer it be that way than, because, like miss me with this, like, I hope our division's awesome stuff.
Yeah,
are you an SEC guy? Like, are you team conference, or do you
not
want to?
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
A little different.
SEC, man, bro, I don't care who it is. If anybody's playing the SEC, I always got to root with the SEC, because that's where it all started, so I got to show love for the SEC.
I'm a fighting Texas Aggie myself, so I get it. Believe me. But it is a little bit different though when you get to the professional level and things like this
Yeah,
happen. I mentioned that you were here on behalf of Panini. What are you doing, first of all? Because I have a lot of questions here, but generally, what are you doing with Panini? Because I think it's very cool.
man, it's All-Star weekend, so I'm at the prison, lounge, the VIP lounge, just opening packs of cards, just embracing it and just seeing everybody once again.
Did you collect cards growing up? Sport like trading cards?
No, I actually didn't, but once I started getting on cards and just seeing how crazy people went, about them, and I was like, man, why not try to, grab some cards? So lately, I've been, opening a little bit of things and trying to keep.
So you're a professional athlete. Don't get me wrong. And you can't answer LeBron, but is there somebody that if you got their card, you'd be like, holy crap, this is really cool?
Man, it's crazy. I actually just got a Curry card, like right before this, like 15 minutes ago. So that one just blew my mind. And I got an Aaron Rodgers card as well, so yeah.
Anthony, we had a good thing going, and I told you I covered the Cowboys. You had to bring up Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Like, and I even had your back on the CJ Stroud thing. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on, man? That is cool though, and I think it's cool how you can say like, oh, this is awesome that you'd have a CJ Stroud card or maybe a Trevor Lawrence card or whatever the case may be. I feel like if again, I made the joke, but if I were a professional athlete, I would have to really calm myself down around other like it has to be the coolest thing in the world to go play football for a living.
Yeah, it is, man. Like I said, it's truly a blessing. I used to grow up watching, most of these guys play. Now I get to, stand on the opposite sideline with them. I get to open up their cards and potentially get them signed by them. Man, it's just amazing. So I do have to keep myself contained sometimes, but it's hard. It's hard sometimes.
Have you had any of your teammates, maybe not necessarily on the Colts, but maybe like, your friends or whoever that are in the NFL or NBA or whatever the case may be, ask you for something, for something to be signed because they're like, oh man, I got to get a piece of this before you're way too big for me to talk to?
Oh yeah. A lot of my friends asked me to, sign jerseys for them. Some of my teammates asked me to sign jerseys and hats for them, just to give them as gifts to people. I don't mind doing it because, I would be excited to get something signed from, like Lamar or, just somebody like that, just to receive a gift, something signed by one of them. So yeah, I'm like, sure, I'll do it.
You have a good jersey to sign. I always think it'd be tough to, like it's got to be hard for Joe Burrow to sign helmets. Like, think about that. You know what I mean? Like the way if you're using a black Sharpie, it's got to be a nightmare to sign that Bengals helmet. It's just got to be a really difficult sort of situation. Whereas the Colts helmet, or you could sign right on the side of the 5, like an Anthony Richardson signed piece of memorabilia looks pretty sharp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I try to take my time on it most of the time, make sure it's nice. So when people do see it and they look at it, they're like, yeah, that is nice.
Shane Steichen did not win Coach of the Year. And I feel like if I were you or if I were JT or if I were Michael Pittman or whoever, I'd be a little upset because I feel like what Shane Steichen did this past season for Indianapolis was highly, highly impressive, especially considering the time that you had to miss.
Yeah, man, Coach Shane is, he's unbelievable. He's legit. He makes the game easier for all of us. We would like to defer, and say something different about the coaching of the year. But, we know we have a great coach. We know we're in a great city to, run things up. So Coach of the Year, I can't remember exactly who won it, but congrats to him. We trying to get something bigger.
It was Kevin Stefanski of the Cleveland Browns, but a lot of people thought it should have been D'Amico in Houston or Dan Campbell with the Detroit Lions. But the good news is Shane is, I think, positioned to have a real chance at doing it next year, especially with you playing the entire season. And is that something I'm curious, like some athletes like being counted out, being underdogs, some like being talked about, whatever. Your team, with you, with Jonathan Taylor, and obviously the contract stuff that got squared away, and now having a coach and that situation all taken care of, like there's no more extenuating circumstance. There's no more factor or puzzle that has to be solved. Everything is finally in place, which hasn't been the case for the Colts for a long time, as I'm sure you well know. That has to make you feel like, okay, like everything is lined up for us to have all the success that we want to in 2024.
Yeah, man. Even just stemming off of last year, we know we have a great team. We know we're in a great position, and in the NFL, it's hard to win. It's hard to get to that Super Bowl, but that's what we're all about. That's what our mind is on. That's what we're trying to chase. That's what we're trying to get to. And we know, like, this is the chance now. So we all have to make sure we got all our ducks in a row, got everything lined up in order for us to, succeed the right way.
Something I always think about for rookies is from the time you finish your final collegiate season, whenever that is for players, you go straight to draft prep, you go to the combine, you have to do a million interviews, you have your pro day, and you get drafted, and then you got to do like life in the NFL. And so it really isn't until the season ends, whenever that winds up being for you, that you finally get to take a breath. Now, for you, I mean, it's a little bit unique because you were in Indianapolis where the combine was, and now even before the next combine, you're doing this stuff with Panini at the All-Star weekend. But like, how does it feel to have all of that, all the firsts finally and firmly behind you?
Man, honestly, life feels like it slowed down a little bit. It's not really racing as much as it was last year. It feels good to actually have time to like sit back and relax before everything ramps up again. But it's all part of the journey. It's all a blessing. So you just got to look at it a different way and just accept it.
Last one for you before I get my other Panini question in. What do you think is most different for you? I guess besides things slowing down heading into year 2 than it was this time a year ago.
Just understanding like the NFL, how hard it is, and just being established in it now, and just trying to just work because we know what's at stake and we know what we have in front of us. At first last year was just me just trying to get comfortable and just understand everything that was going on around me. But now that I do have some type of understanding, just all gas now, trying to get to the Super Bowl.
Panini is the exclusive trading card partner of the NBA and the NFL. You mentioned LeBron, Steph. Obviously, people can get Panini NBA, NFL trading cards at Walmart, Target, hobby stores nationwide. They could check out PaniniAmerica.net. So my last one for you, Anthony, if Panini hits you up and was like, dude, what is the best pose to use for you when we put on your cards? Like generally, like maybe it's you throwing or you diving or you sliding. Like if you had to pick your ideal kind of circumstances to be captured, to be put on the card, what would that be?
Okay, so I'm not sure if you know, but last year I kind of came up with like a signature celebration.
What do you mean not sure? You're my dynasty quarterback. I know everything about you, Anthony. Come on, give me some credit.
But yeah, came up with I don't know what got into me. I don't know how it came about, but I did the jump spinning spike, and I've seen photos of that, and it just looked amazing. So I'll probably say that's the one.
Yeah, I don't know if you're a soccer fan, but a little Cristiano Ronaldo-ish, just a little bit with the jump, turn, lane. So but it's your own thing. That's what matters the most. You got to make it your own. Anthony Richardson, you're the man. I wish you nothing but success for your own sake. If I happen to benefit from that, by all means. But safe off season, lots of health for you, and can't wait to see you in 2024.
Yeah, man, appreciate you.